The greatest footballers are known for their signature tricks. But sometimes players take creativity a bit too far. From ingenious tactics to mesmerizing skills, these are football skills that have been banned. And wait till you see the skills that doesn't involve using hands, heads, or the feet. Starting off with the player who is arguably the most creative mind of them all, Neymar Jr. Everyone knows Neymar for his flicks, tricks, and flamboyant style of football with Barcelona and PSG. But back in the day, Neymar was starting out at Santos, and soon enough, his footballing display in Brazil caught the eyes of clubs in Europe. But Neymar caught the eye of football authorities as well. They were watching him because of his crazy technique from the penalty spot. Because it was genius. He ran up to the ball and stopped at the last moment to make the keeper react to one side. And he would then slot the ball into the net away from the keeper. This, while brilliant, was unfair for goalkeepers. So after 5 successive attempts with this penalty run-up, FIFA decided to have this banned. Anyone who tries it again will be getting a yellow card. But if Neymar can come up with tricks to score penalties, goalkeepers can also come up with sneaky ways to save them. Like Emi Martinez. This guy came up with a trick to put attackers off during their run-ups. It was pretty straightforward. Just move like crazy as the kicker runs up to take the penalty kick. It may not be as clever as Neymar's, but hey, it works. And when a guy like Martinez is waving his arms around like that, it can be challenging to keep your cool. And if that wasn't enough, he played all sorts of mind games during the 2022 World Cup on penalty takers, by taunting and distracting them before they took the penalty. It's not as broken, because if the penalty taker is good at keeping his cool, there's very little the keeper can do. But it was banned nonetheless because the authorities felt Martinez was getting an unfair advantage. Keepers are now not allowed to touch the net or the post, come off their lines to distract and taunt penalty takers. Speaking of an unfair advantage, Denmark came up with the best way to twist the rules in their favor back in 1992. Back then, one of the major rules of football just didn't exist. You see, these days, the rules about back passes are these. If the back pass was a header, the keeper may grab the ball in the penalty box. However, goalkeepers are not allowed to catch the ball if a teammate passes it back with their feet. There's a reason the back pass rule was born. In 1992, Denmark was only playing in the Euros because Yugoslavia pulled out of the tournament. And since they weren't supposed to be there, they didn't have a game plan, so they backpassed their way to glory. There was no such rule in the rulebook then, and Denmark took time wasting to a whole new level. This worked a charm, and Denmark actually went on to lift the Euro 1992 trophy. Talk about cheating your way to the top. But it wasn't really cheating though, was it? Not to mention the disrespect to the opposing team, because the only thing more disrespectful than that is showboating on other players. Being better than the guy in front of you is what football is all about, but it's not always a good idea to embarrass the opponent. In 2007, the undisputed king of Brazilian football was Ronaldinho. He was in the prime of his career, and fans couldn't get enough of his mesmerizing display, including balancing the ball on his head. Many young Brazilians looked up to him, and in particular, Kurlan of Cruzeiro in 2007. Kurlan decided to improvise the balancing act by juggling it in a real match. That move had a name, and it was called the seal dribble. The thing is, this seal dribble was provocative to opponents, and in one particular game, Kurlan's opponents were so mad with his showboating move that he got elbowed in the face. FIFA decided to step in and have this move banned to protect his safety and the safety of others who think it's cool to do so. Honestly, the only cool thing right now is to quickly hit that like and subscribe button, and turn on the bell icon for notifications to this channel. The rainbow flick isn't dangerous for anyone, but it's somehow managed to be on the list of banned tricks. Well, technically it isn't officially banned, but it is still considered very rude to try and beat a player using the rainbow flick, and depending on circumstances, it can even lead to a booking. But if it isn't banned, why does it merit a booking? Well, there are some scenarios where a rainbow flick would actually work, and the player would be allowed to use it if the need arises. But if the referee thinks the player is doing it to showboat and be disrespectful, he would get a yellow. It's completely down to the referee, and considering how soft football is these days, players would be better off not using the skill at all. It doesn't even provide an unfair advantage, and they still banned it. Maybe if it was something like this next one, it would make sense. We all love to see players scoring a belter from free kicks, mostly because there's a wall of players in front of the dead ball. But players tried to find a shortcut there as well. Back in the 70s, Ernie Hunt and his teammates decided to pull a trick that stunned the entire stadium. So, some teams decided to donkey kick the ball up before another player volleyed it into the net. Doing this completely removed the wall from the equation, because volleys can be made to dip more than a free kick, and the added force behind the ball makes it harder for the keeper to stop the shot. FIFA thought this was putting goalkeepers at a disadvantage and banned it altogether. Thanks to that decision, fans actually got to see bullet goals from free kicks instead of the donkey. The donkey kick made sense, but it was taking away a huge part of the game, just like this next one. For a sport that's supposed to be played with the feet, players really love coming up with new ways to use other body parts. Yeah, it's time to show the tricks that doesn't involve your hands, heads, or the feet. This Sipo Modi skill took it to a whole new level. In a league game against Platinum Stars, Modi wanted to hype up his fans and the crowd by doing something extra. When the ball was passed to him, he invented a crazy new skill with his knee.
Now the issue here will be broken down by Ace. He's the one gentleman that will tell us if this is ungentlemanly or not.
That was sheer entertainment. He got the fans excited, but Modi pissed off the one dude he shouldn't have messed with. The ref? The referee wasn't having it, and brandished a yellow card to Modi for showboating. Modi responded after the game, saying he wasn't happy about the decision, because he was just trying to showcase his skills and his game. It wasn't so much of the skill, but the principle behind showboating and humiliating others. That is the cause for a ban. You'd think footballers would understand what FIFA is trying to do by banning all the tricks. But you'd be wrong, because it's almost like some people consciously try to get in trouble. Everyone who plays football knows an outfield player can't touch the ball with their hands. But the rulebook says nothing about clothes. Or at least it didn't say anything about it. Until a guy named Jan Gunnar Solly tried to exploit the lack of a rule and use his shirt to gain an unfair advantage. Yeah, his shirt. Do you know the clips where street freestylers hide the ball in their shirts? Yeah, this guy actually tried it in a pro football game. It was obviously going to be disallowed. How on earth is someone supposed to take the ball away from you if it's inside your shirt? It's okay if players use it as a celebration to announce that they're expecting a baby, but sprinting into the goal with the ball inside your shirt is definitely banned. That proves it. Sometimes creativity can be bad. But honestly, without these tricks and skills, football would be boring, and no one would watch it. But hey, at least you'll be able to watch more exciting stuff like this next one. See you there.